Hey, Sunshine do Buckaroos. How the heck are you? Let me get my props and plates here. Anyway, bear with me just a second. I got run a little behind. I apologize. Let me get rocking here. Oh man, I am off today and tomorrow, so I wanted to relax today. I got out for a little bit. Hang out with some friends, but came home and just relaxed. I decided now it's near the end of the evening, I thought I'd have a couple cocktails with you. So let me get things fixed up here. There we go. Now we're in business. All righty then. So how the heck are you? Oh man, been working a lot lately, but not well. I stay a lot. Not a crazy amount, but yeah, I've been getting some hours in, which is nice. But I have been getting a little tired too, so it's nice that I finally got 2 days off in a row to relax with you. Like I said, I got out for a couple hours earlier, had a couple beers with some friends, but I came home relaxed. Didn't have anything to drink for a while, but I'm going to have a couple cocktails with you. Want to do something different and the same, right? So I wanted to make a Manhattan, but do it slightly different. So I'm using the Watershed Distillery. This is their fall finishing series, straight bourbon whiskey, finished in apple brandy barrel. Seems more fall, but I'm going to use it for spring here. It is at 129.2 proof. It's a biggie. So I used two and a half. No, I'm sorry. I used 2 ounces even of this. I used a 1 ounce even of an Antica sweet vermouth and some ginger bitters. And I made kind of just a very slight riff on a classic Manhattan. Just using those ginger bitters with that apple brandy. Yeah, barrel kind of changes the game a little. It gives me a nice early spring Manhattan and slusher. Well, I got another cocktail I'm going to have with you as soon as this one's gone. Oh, mercy. I don't. I don't shy away from politics when I do these videos. I don't necessarily embrace it either. It just kind of depends on what's going on at that moment in time. It just feels like we're living in times where we're watching our democracy crumble right before our eyes, right? We're watching fascism take hold. I mean, I was having some conversations with, well, one was a childhood friend, one was somebody else, but it's just the fact that neither one of them were able to grasp the fact that people are being taken away without due process. That didn't seem to bother them at all. Mostly because the people that were being taken away weren't the same color. They were people with different beliefs, yeah, different upbringings. Oh, that's okay. It's only going to be a problem if they start coming for us, and that's the problem. That's the thing that just drives me crazy, that you can't make people understand that at some point they will come for you. And then what are you going to do? If you allow this to happen to anybody, it can happen to everybody. And I don't know why everybody isn't able to grasp that, right? It just it just rubs me all sorts of wrong that, wait a minute, you're okay with them being taken away only because it's not you. But what if they start coming after people you love? Or they're not going to, Tom. But if you allow it to happen to anybody, you're allowing it to happen to everybody. As soon as you can treat somebody without due process, then you can treat everybody without due process. And I don't know why these people just don't get it. Mostly because, well, it fits their bigotry. It fits their ignorance. They're taking away people they don't like and they don't agree with. So hey, until they start coming after people they love, they're going to be okay with it. And they don't understand folks like you and I that are unhappy that they're taking anybody away. It doesn't matter if I like these people, agree with folks or not. The fact that people are being taken away without due process is a problem, and we all should be able to see that. The fact is, you've got folks that are okay with it as long as it's not them. That is the problem. Anyway, what are you gonna do? Well, I'm gonna have a drink. What are you gonna do about it, Tom? You gonna fix the problem? Well, hell, I don't know how to fix the problem. I'm gonna try. I'm just not sure. I'm watching everything go down in real time, thinking certainly there at some point these folks that have supported this madness are going to wake up and say, "Oh, okay, now I get it." But I'm starting to come to the conclusion after having this bizarre conversation with folks that are okay with folks being taken away because that's not them, that they're never going to get it unless somebody comes after them specifically. They're going to be okay with it because right now, in their own little happy place in their head, right, quite comfortable in their own ignorance and bigotry, they think it's never going to happen to them or anybody they love because they believe and act a very specific way. So until they start to show dissent, they're fine. And these are the people that claim to be patriots. These are the people that claim to love America that are acting very unlike any American ever. I just can't make it make sense. It's rather bizarre. And I've lost track of childhood friends. I mean, at this point, there's only a couple of them that still. I mean, there's this one guy. I mean, he's just so fucking lost. It's unbelievable. But then you, I mean, at this point, I'm not even talking to many relatives anymore because it's just pointless. You can't have a rational conversation with folks anymore that have abandoned all logic and reason. And anybody that can still support this administration has abandoned all logic and reason in support of ignorance and bigotry. I mean, it's just lost. It just doesn't matter anymore. There's no point laying out facts or truth to folks that are just going to deny that those are facts. When you can prove that, no, this is not my opinion. This is actual truth. Oh no, those are alternative facts. I'm okay. I'm done. I'm not going to waste my time on these ignorant sons of bitches anymore because it just doesn't matter. I mean, Donald Trump has done everything he can to prove he is unfit. I mean, clearly he's in mental decline. Clearly he shits his pants. Clearly he's unable to lead the country. And if you're still behind it after transgender mice, tariffs on penguins, if you can still support this ignorance after all that, I mean, you're lost. I got nothing anymore. I'm not going to have conversations with you. I'm not going to try to. I mean, I'm not going to pivot back and forth. I'm not going to try to have a meaningful conversation with you because there is no point. You are beyond having a meaningful conversation with you. Have abandoned all logic and reason in support of an ignorant, bigoted madman. I can't do it anymore. And I figure at some point that his Gestapo is going to come for me, and I just don't care anymore. I've tried to have rational, logical conversations with folks, but after everything has gone down, if you can still look at the ignorance and madness and still support what's going on, I mean, you're lost. There's nothing that's going to convince you otherwise now until they come for you personally. And right now, you've convinced yourself they're not going to ever come for you personally or anybody you love because you believe a very specific way. But again, I go back to if they're able to take anybody, they're able to take everybody. And I don't know why that's so hard to understand. It's just fucking bizarre. Hell, I'm almost 60 years old. I'm looking at this thing going, oh my God. Our children, our grandchildren, they're dealing with this madness. because old folks are stupid. I mean, we've dropped the ball. I mean, I'm Gen X. I'm just a hair away from a boomer, but I'm not. But the boomers fucked up beyond belief. The boomers have let in this ignorance, this fear mongering, this hatred. But quite frankly, my generation hasn't done any better. We've been apathetic. We've been sarcastic. We've made fun of it, but we didn't make any changes. And now we've got millennials and generations are after that. It's up to you guys now because we've clearly dropped the fucking ball to let this madness happen. This should have never happened. Nobody that fucking stupid should have ever been elected as president of our country. But here we are, and then you've got people applauding the absence of due process, and it's just so fucking bizarre at this point. So anyway, how the heck are you? Let it go, Tommy. I'm gonna try. I mean, sometimes I just feel like I've got to just say things out loud for my own sanity. Uh, I just don't get it. I mean, I live in a very, 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 very red neck of the woods. Very much, yeah, very much that. But I will say, in the years that I've been here, about 30-ish, it has gotten better. I mean, certain things have improved along those lines, but it is still probably at best 70-30 ignorance to intelligence. So there are some of us who would like to see positive things, and the other 70 just want us to go backwards. And I can't figure out whenever they say, let's make America great again. Again, to what? What do you want to bring us back to? Back before women could have a bank account, back before women or any people of color could vote, back when only rich white men could ding, 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 ding. There you have a winner. That's what they want to bring us back to when only rich white landowners can vote so they can make decisions for the rest of us. They want to bring us back to a class society. They want to eliminate child labor laws so your children and mine can now be exploited because they don't give a rat's ass about any of us. Uh, Anyway, I think it's funny you see these ads about trade schools. I don't have an issue with anybody's child going to a trade school, but this is what I want you to think about: is their kids aren't going to trade schools. Their kids are going to college while they're trying their damnedest to convince you that your child doesn't need an education. And that's what's going on right now is they don't want any of us to be educated. Why? Because this is what happens. You have folks like me being agitators when you educate people. But if you keep them stupid, they will believe the ignorance. And that's what's going on right now. They've had a pretty good following of stupid because you've got folks that believe what they want to believe. They want to believe, oh, yeah, I'm white. I'm special. Jesus was white and special. There is no way in hell if Jesus even existed, and quite frankly, there's no proof that he ever did. In all honesty, um, but if he did, he certainly wouldn't be a white guy, nor would he have spoken English. I mean, goddamn, folks, how stupid are you? Anyways, I digress. But I digress, man. But Republican problems are what athletes are competing in what sports and who's using what bathrooms. This is what they're concerned about. While those of us on the other side are concerned about people eating, people being housed. I mean, no. For those of you, both parties are the same, Tom. No, they're not. And you can't really be that stupid, can you? You've got one party trying to convince you that the issues, the problems confronting America right now are who's using what bathroom. When we've got we've got uh, a record number of homeless population. We've got kids dying. We've got kids starving to death. These are the issues folks on my side want to solve. While your folks are concerned about who's using what bathroom. I don't give a rat's ass who's using what bathroom. Have I ever shared a bathroom with a trans person? Hell, I don't know. You know why? Because I'm not asking anybody what's in their fucking pants. I'm not sure why that's a problem for you. What I am concerned about is yes, people having a meal, people having shelter. That's what concerns me. And why it doesn't concern you, why you're so concerned about what athletes are competing in what sport and who's using whose bathroom. Why is that so fucking important to you? Because it doesn't make any sense. Anyway, I digress. Fuck. It is frustrating for me. I mean, I am that rarity, right? I'm that rarity. I'm that non-college educated liberal. There's not a lot of us, but I think there's maybe more of us than you might think. Uh, but here's the thing: your kids, when they go to school, when they go to college, when they go to university, they're not being indoctrinated; they're being educated. And they come back home questioning you because now they have actual knowledge and not the bullshit you drilled into them for all those years. So they're no longer ignorant, buying that bullshit you've been spewing on them. Now they actually know. And the fact that you've got folks out there trying to control what is being taught, they want to keep Mein Kampf in the libraries, but take out Anne Frank, the Diary of Anne Frank. Think about that for a second. Why is that? Huh. Anyway, anyway, I digress. Ugh. But as I said earlier, at this point, in all honesty, I mean, if you can still follow that regime after everything that has been done up till now, if you can still say, "Oh yeah, I'm in," then you're done. I mean, you've completely abandoned all logic and reason to support an ignorant, bigoted madman. And I've got nothing. There's no point for me to have a conversation with you because you have. I don't need to show you any logic. I don't need to show you any truth. I don't need to show you any facts because it's all available to you. You can look it up yourself, and you choose not to. You choose to remain ignorant and stupid because you're going to favor hatred and bigotry over the truth and the reality. And there's no point. I'm just done. I'm not talking to folks like you anymore. I'm not going to try to convince you. I'm not going to react. I'm not going to respond back. Uh, I'm done. You want to remain an ignorant, hateful bigot. Hey, I can't stop you at this point. The law, I mean, the facts are there. You can look them up yourself. I mean, it is all there. I mean, it's not my opinion that the Trump administration is the most corrupt in our history. Those are the facts. They are provable facts. Your inability to see that, well, that's you. And there's no way I'm going to be able to convince you because you and I have the ability to look at the exact same facts and you choose to ignore them. So I'm done. I'm severing ties with all family, friends, childhood friends. I'm done. I just don't care anymore. I mean, I'm 60 years old. Um, in just a few days, will mark 12 years since my wife and I lost our son to cancer. And I just can't do it anymore, man. I just can't. I can't deal with I just can't. I just can't deal with your ignorance anymore. I thought after certain things happen, you go, oh, okay. I realize I made a mistake now, it's that cognitive dissonance. You don't have the ability to admit you were wrong. You don't have the ability. You don't have. You don't have the ability to admit you made a mistake. So there's no proof I can show you that's ever going to make a difference. So, anyways, I digress. I'm just going to have a cocktail and just say fuck it all because I'm done. I'm going to hang with whatever remaining family I have, whatever remaining friends I have, because quite frankly, I don't need any more. And I'm done trying to make people see the light that won't take the fucking blinders off. So, anyways, launch it. Okay. So I went on a rant completely through that first cocktail. So for the second cocktail I'm gonna have with you, I'm just gonna enjoy the cocktail and talk about other things. I won't talk politics at all for this second cocktail. That is my promise to you. So here's what I did for number two. I used my Huling Station High Rye, and when I say high rye, I mean really fucking high rye. I mean this is high rye. This is high rye, baby. Monty, how are you? Good to hear from you. I hope you're doing all right, my friend. As always, if you have any questions or comments, share them. Anyway, so I'm going to try to read this mash bill to you. It's rather amazing, to be honest. It's 52% corn. I mean, only 52%. It has to be a minimum of 51 to be bourbon. And there's only 52% here, and 44% rye, 4% malted barley, but 44% rye. That makes it a serious high rye bourbon. So I used 2 ounces of this, but I took it in a different direction, right? I took the template of a Manhattan, but I took the sweet vermouth out. Instead, I added the candied orange liqueur at 50 proof from Tiaki Dal, local to me. And then I did added some smoked orange bitters to give it kind of a spring kind of flair, or an early spring kind of flair. So anyway, here we are, and sláinte. Oh my god, that's delicious. That's bright, it's fresh. Oh gosh, that's gorgeous. Oh, sometimes, sometimes life takes us in directions that we don't expect. Right? As a kid, I thought my life might go a certain way, and then when things didn't happen, I did other things. I ended up into the retail business by accident, and I became good at it and jumped into management. I made a few mistakes along the way, but then I found my way and got pretty good at it. I met my wife and then really focused on trying to build a career. And again, because I am not college educated, as I stated earlier, well, I became good at retail. And I jumped ahead of some colleagues that had college education, which created some tension. I guess you could say, but I had a flair for certain things, or certain things I didn't do well. In all honesty, but I learned to capitalize on my strengths. What I mean by that is I know what I did well, I know what I didn't do well. So when I put people around me in my department, I put folks in various places that could shore up the things I didn't do well. What I did do well is manage people and put people in the right places. And I did enjoy it for a period of time, right up until I didn't anymore. But then the time came where I wanted to do something else, but then I didn't feel I was qualified. Right? I spent all of my time. I spent about 30 years doing this. Now I didn't know what else I could do. I started my own business, and I did okay. I won't say I was extremely successful, but I wasn't unsuccessful either. I wanted to keep it a one horse operation. I didn't really want to grow. I just wanted to make enough to pay the bills and still have time with the family. I spent so much time in retail where I missed so much family time, right? So I started this business where I could work a lot of hours, but I could also work around things so I could be at the school plays and the sports events and that sort of thing. But then the unthinkable happened. my son, who had never been sick a day in his life, all of a sudden was diagnosed with leukemia. My wife had a good job, so it was easier for me to spend to it was easier for me to suspend my business than for her to stuck. She had the guaranteed money coming in. Mine was different. So I was, when we were gone, when we had to be out of town, she could do a lot of work remotely even then. But then when we were home, I mean, I would take the jobs I could, but I spent a lot of time taking care of our son. Uh, but again, then something even more unthinkable happened. We lost our son to cancer. Um, and that kind of changed both of us. And she still had that job to go to, and I needed to figure out what to do. For a while there, I just kind of had a meltdown. I don't know how better to say it, but then there was some part-time work available. I did for where she was working, and that kind of kept me going for a minute. Up until things just got unbearable for her, then she needed to leave work, and so I got lucky again. I mean, I wanted to reinvent myself a little bit. And even though I was getting older and a little bit older than most in this particular business at the time, I became a sales rep for Saddleblock Brewing out of Springdale, Arkansas. Although the brewery was in Arkansas or in Springdale, they're right there next to Fayetteville. So they already had one salesperson who was handling all of uh, Fayetteville and Springdale, but they hired me to take over Rogers, Bentonville, and Eureka Springs, and I loved that. It was a lot of fun for 2 years. I met some great people. Um, and I knew craft beer, but I had never worked in the industry, so it allowed me to take the skills I had from retail and move it to something else. And that was very enjoyable for 2 years. Well, why'd you leave, Tom? Well, the truth is, I didn't want to leave, but I was kind of forced to, due to health reasons. The job was in Arkansas. My health plan was in Missouri, so I left. I quit uh, because it was easier that way. That way, I ended up having three surgeries that year. I guess I'm kind of going along while we're on the bar to say that, but I had three surgeries that year. I could have actually gone back to that job. In all honesty, he said he would keep it for me, but I decided to take my life in a different direction after that. Hey, happy Easter, man! Good to hear from you. So, for 5 years, I became the food service coordinator for the YMCA. And although I did enjoy that for most of that tenure, the last year and a half, I mean, I got through a lot of supervisors in that time. In the last one, it was just, I mean, clearly my previous supervisors appreciated the knowledge that I brought to the job. They appreciated that I knew what I was doing, that I was able to do things that others weren't able to do because of my previous experience. But clearly, with that last supervisor change, that I, I just kept getting lied to. I'm going in and I'd ask for certain things or talk about certain things. I would be told that was going to happen, and then the exact opposite would happen. So after being lied to for the better part of a year, I decided that that was no longer the place. After being lied to and jerked around, and then I had to reinvent myself again. And I got lucky again. I mean, I've been lucky so many times. And I landed where I landed now, where I'm back working with craft beer, but I'm also designing cocktails. I'm having a lot of fun and I'm working hard and my old bones get tired. But the joy of being able to be where I am and talk to the people I'm able to talk to. do the things I'm able to do at my age at just shy of 60 now. Next month I turn 60. Can't believe that. I'm 60 fucking years. I guess the point where I've been talking to some younger folks lately, even not too young, but about 20 years younger than one person in particular. I don't want to mention their name, but they were basically saying they didn't know what to do because they've done this, this, this. They didn't know what to do, and I'm saying you're never too old to reinvent yourself. And I've done it a handful of times over my current lifetime. I hope it's not over yet. But I said never be afraid to change and lose. Never be afraid to change and learn something different. So, and that's where I'm at now at this stage of my life, with the country and this crazy upheaval. Here I am, and just as far as professionally, anyway, having the time of my life. I'm doing what I want to do, man. I'm finally at a place that I want to be at. I love going to work every day. I love it. I've never loved going to work as much as I love. And don't get me wrong, there are times I get off the job and where I finish the work day and I go, oh, that was a day. But still, I mean, you go back to work the next day. Okay, this is what we're going to do, and it's just a pure joy. So, anyways, yeah, that's the point. Is never be afraid to reinvent yourself. Things are crazy right now. Things are, it almost seems surreal the things we're witnessing and the things that people are allowing others to get away with. I'm thinking, why we're watching things happen and we think, well, this should be irritating. This should bother everybody, right? What we're seeing right now should bother everybody. And the fact that it's not, again, I just don't know what to do about that. It should bother you. That folks are being taken away without due process should bother you. Even if they are doing something wrong, even if they are criminals, they still should be allowed due process. But we know there's been at least one mistake, and now it's looking like there are many, many, many more of folks being wrongfully deported, and the fact that everybody isn't up in arms, and that I just up in arms over that. I mean, is just, I mean, it's really bothersome to me. So, and I just can't make any of it make sense. So, anyways, you like to think that we as people will do the right thing, but clearly we're watching things happen that people don't want to do the right thing. There are so many people out there that don't want to do the right thing. They want a very specific way of life, and if that involves others getting hurt, they're okay with that. And I just can't make that make sense to me. So, anyways, I'm going to wrap this up. I am Tom, the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker for rare wisdom, and all I'd like to say to finish this off is, and I covered it a little bit earlier, is what are you going to do when they start coming after you? And you got those folks right now. They're so convinced they're right. They know, oh, they're never going to come after me, Tom. But then I go back to, if they're coming after anybody, they can come after everybody. And we all should be able to see that. The fact that some just can't, it's just incredibly bizarre to me. So anyway, I'm going to finish my cocktail. I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day off. I am Tom, the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and all around good guy. Launch you. Man, I really like that cocktail. That bright orange. Oh, cheese, wisdom, bacon. That's delicious. Anyways, have a good one, guys.